I look forward tonight to, in this next hour, to discuss the Democratic small business agenda, one that I believe will really help to bring our country further out of the recession that we are now climbing out of. And I'm glad that some of my colleagues are able to join me tonight as we talk about this agenda going forward. As our country struggles to overcome the effects of the financial crisis and economic recession, we must look for innovative ways to help create new jobs and foster the private sector growth. We must act aggressively to counter the job losses of the past 2 years, and those job losses have been great. More than 8 million jobs have been lost since the recession began in late 2007. Our nation's unemployment rate is near 10% and in many areas well above 10%. Job losses are on the decline, which is good news amidst so many months of recession, but we still have a very long way to go. The number of long-term unemployed individuals in the United States is extremely high, totaling 6.1 million people as of last month. That's 6.1 million people who have been out of work for 27 months or longer. That's nearly 7 months of unemployment. And approximately 2.5 million people are considered marginally attached to the labor force, meaning they want work, but because the job market is so inviting, they have not looked for work in the last 4 weeks. One of our nation's greatest historical strengths has always been our optimism. But when faced with a long-term, gradual recovery, as we are today, it's understandable that patience wanes and it becomes difficult to retain the optimism that has served us so well in the past. That is why we must act aggressively and decisively to help our private sector grow and create jobs. And I believe the best place to start is the area of our economy that has the greatest record of success in creating jobs, and that is our small business sector. As a former small business owner, my husband's still running the business, I've seen firsthand the power of small businesses in our communities. A grocery store can transform an urban landscape, improve the health and lower crime in neighborhoods that others may have thought was a lost cause. A retail store or restaurant can energize a community by drawing patrons or to lesser traveled areas. A small business can turn an empty street into a destination for customers and tourists. Manufacturers and producers can create hubs of commerce and employment when the jobs they create directly beget indirect jobs. Manufacturers need supplies and equipment to create their products, and their workers need a place to eat lunch and to shop. When small businesses grow and prosper, their communities reap the benefits. Small businesses are the engine of economic growth and job creation in the United States, and they have been for years. Over the last 15 years, small businesses have created nearly 65% of the nation's new jobs, approximately 14.5 million jobs. Small businesses represent 99.7% of all employer firms. That means less than 1% of our employers are big corporations. Small businesses are the starting point for economic success. The small businesses of today are the success stories of tomorrow. It's small businesses that create the technologies that profoundly affect our lives and our culture. Medical devices that regulate heartbeats, software that allows us to connect with people across the globe, products that rid our groundwater of arsenic. These are just a few of the examples of innovations of small businesses. The American entrepreneurial spirit will help drive our economy out of recession, creating jobs and innovation along the way. That's why we must do all we can to help businesses, small businesses, grow and prosper.